Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and today we are going to be going over another one of the 13 best cars for every budget series that we've started. In case you're wondering, we started the series a little while ago. We have tons of different options out there. We got 13 best JDM cars for every budget, drift cars, and I think I'm actually going to start to put them in their own little playlist, so that if you want to watch just these videos, you can. But also, I forgot to tell you guys yesterday, so I'm going to tell you now. Guess what we got? We got two puppies, and they're adorable. They're boxer puppies. I'll put a picture on the screen now of what they are. They're the cutest little things in the world, and their names are Chevelle and Nova. Obviously, if you sense that you're probably a car guy, you know where that's from, but if you don't, those are both muscle cars back from the 60s made by Chevy. My dad's a big Chevy fan, so it kind of all makes sense. It all comes around full circle, and I think it's just the cutest little thing, so hopefully you guys like that too. But also, in the top of the comments, guys, before we get into the video, is going to be a link to my other channel where I go over Grand Theft Auto Online content. So if you're a fan of the old GTAs, go over there and check it out. I'd appreciate it. If you don't want to subscribe, and if you don't like GTA content, you do not have to. I'm just putting it out there for anybody that does want to go see it. Without further ado, let's get right into the video with the first car for less than $25,000. Alright, so for under $25K for the whole front-wheel drive market, I think the best option for you is the Hyundai Veloster N. The N stands for meow, because that's the noise it's going to make as it's whipping by everybody else in the front-wheel drive market. These cars were the fastest front-wheel drive car around the Nürburgring until Honda came out with the other Civic Type R that they just came out with, but they were there for a little while. They come with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 275 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Obviously, every car on this list is going to be front-wheel drive, and I tried to make this list stay clear of just being Volkswagens and Hondas. Obviously, there are a couple of Volkswagens and Hondas because they are very good front-wheel drive cars. But there's a lot of other ones, obviously, since we have the Hyundai Veloster here. Now, the looks, a little wacky, you know. You gotta be a certain kind of person to enjoy the looks of the Hyundai Veloster. Me, personally, not the biggest fan, but if you like it, then it's an amazing car otherwise. For less than 20K, I realized I kind of forgot to explain the purpose of this video to people in the intro because I went on a little bit of a tangent about my puppies. But the way this video works is we go over one front-wheel drive car for under 25K, then 20, then 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and $1,000. But for under 20K, the Volkswagen GTI MK7 is an amazing idea. Obviously, this is one of only 3 Volkswagens on this list, so don't worry. And it comes with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 220 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Honestly, a very small horsepower number for the $20,000. I know it sounds a little crazy, but you got to remember Volkswagen really isn't about just straight up horsepower out of the gate. It has a bunch of other things about it that makes it really good. They're very reliable, they're very comfortable, they're very luxurious for the price that you're paying. They look pretty good, they have a great motor to tune, they have a ton of space because they're a hatchback, they handle very well. Everything about them all comes full circle to just make an incredible car, and so it doesn't really need that extra horsepower number to bump it up. But for less than $15,000, it's going to one of only 2 Hondas. I know, I managed to hold myself back in the Honda game on this list. And it is the Honda Accord Coupe 9th generation. I love the Accords in general, even if they're a sedan, but the Coupes just make it even better because they just look so much cooler. Now, obviously, if you need the sedan space, then you can get the sedan version, and they're actually cheaper than the Coupes, but I put the Coupe here. They come with a 3.5-liter V6, making 278 horsepower, and they are front-wheel drive, obviously. 278 horsepower is very good for front-wheel drive cars. As a matter of fact, now that I'm looking at the list here, this is the fastest car in this video for horsepower, which is really cool. And on top of that, it's still a Honda, so it's still going to be reliable, still going to get you from point A to point B on time, and it looks really cool, especially for a Honda. I think people sleep on the Accord Coupes, man, because everybody loves the Integras, you know, everybody loves the Civic SIs. Nobody talks about the Accord Coupes, and they are baller. For less than $10,000, we got the mother truckin' Ford Focus ST. The ST stands for Super Turbo, because it has a turbo. What? I didn't even realize that. But no, the Ford Focus ST, once again, another hatchback. Another car that I honestly think is a little bit undervalued right now. Sitting under 10K for a car that's like this new and this wanted is mind-blowing. They come with a 2.3-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 252 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. That number is very good, especially for a front-wheel drive car. It's once again still a hatchback too, so it has all the space that you could possibly need. Well, I don't know why, but every single hatchback in the world seems to be front-wheel drive, so that's very good if you're looking for a hatchback. They're very reliable, one of the more reliable Fords out there for sure. They get the job done. They got good gas mileage too. Holy moly, the gas mileage on a Ford Focus ST is mind-blowing. And people do like to modify these things and make them way faster than they need to be, which is bingo. For less than $9,000, it is the second Honda, the last Honda on this list, unless you count, well, there is one Acura, so I guess technically not, but this is the last Honda, and it is the Honda Civic SI 9th generation. Honestly, for under $9,000, any Honda Civic SI, in my opinion, is a good deal. I love Honda Civic SIs. I think they're great cars, and the 9th gen is a relatively new one, and you can already find it under $9K. It comes with a 2.4-liter inline-4, making 201 horsepower, and it is obviously front-wheel drive. That motor is a K-series, so if you ever wanted to get more power out of it, it's very easy to do so. If you don't know anything about K-series motors from Honda, well, just know that they're pretty darn incredible, man. They're pretty good, okay? The 9th gen Civic Si also, I think, looks very... now, here's the thing. So, with the 9th gen Civic Si, I think it looks very average stock, but once you start to modify it, it can look incredible. And it has a lot of custom mods available for it, too, to make it look good. But stock, they just look so boring. For less than $8,000, I honestly think that this is probably the best bargain deal on the entire list. It is the MazdaSpeed 3. There is nothing bad about the MazdaSpeed 3 at all, and they're already sitting under 8K. Now, you can only find the first gen for under 8K. You can get lucky and find the second gen for under 8K, but realistically, you're only finding the first gen. But it's still an amazing car. It comes with a 2.3-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 263 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. That's obviously an incredibly high horsepower number, especially for this list, especially for a front-wheel drive car. But it also has all the stuff that you could want in a front-wheel drive car. Hatchback, reliable, good on gas, and in my opinion, this is one of the better looking hatchbacks we've ever seen. I think the MazdaSpeed 3 looks absolutely incredible. It also has a ton of freaking aftermarket support for it, especially from Coupe, corn on the cob. You want to put some Coupe stickers on your MazdaSpeed 3, you can, and it's just a good car all around. Now, on the complete opposite end of that spectrum, a car that I don't think is the best deal, but you can find it under $7,000, is the Dodge Neon SRT4. I remember these cars used to be sitting under like 3K all the time. Like, you could find an SRT4 for dirt cheap. And nowadays, they're just like, oh yeah, we got a really cool car, so let's make everybody pay like $5 million bajillion for it. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. They come with a 2.4-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 230 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Honestly, the motor is very good. You can make a lot of power out of it. It's funny because it's actually the same motor that they put into the PT Cruisers, but nobody wants to talk about that because it's a PT Cruiser and it's kind of ugly. But if you want a really bargain SRT4, you buy a PT Cruiser GT and you get kind of the same thing. But either way, the SRT4, in my opinion, they look okay. Nothing really to write home about. But I don't think that these cars are worth 7K. Like, I get it. Yes, they have a good motor. Yes, they're a enthusiast car. But 7K, dude, that's a little crazy. For under $6,000, however, we are going to talk about a bit of an underrated one, a bit of a slept-on boy with the Toyota Corolla S. Now, they have had a couple different generations of the Corolla S, and to be honest with you, any one of them is a good option if you can find it under 6K. It doesn't matter if it's the first gen or if it's the most previous gen. If you can find a Toyota Corolla S under $6,000, it's a good deal. It comes with a 1.8-liter inline-4, making 170 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Very decent, very average, I would say. Like, nothing super special. The motor isn't, once again, is something that's not super special. You can make some power out of it, but you're not going to be able to go crazy with it. It really is just the kind of car that, like, if you want a daily driver that has a little bit of pep in its step and is a little bit more fun than the normal Corollas or Camrys, then this is the kind of car that you get. They can look pretty good, but not great. They can be pretty fast, but not super fast. It's just a perfect, like, start. Like, I would recommend this car for anybody that's looking to get started in modifying cars. For less than $5,000, however, we're going to go on the other side a little bit here with the Mini Cooper S. I don't recommend the Mini Cooper S to anybody that's just getting started because they actually do need a little bit of work. They're British, and almost every single freaking British car out there, dude, is just so unreliable. So you got to really know what you're doing to maintain this car and keep it reliable, or else you're kind of going to be shafted a little bit. It comes with a 1.6-liter supercharged inline-4, very different Mini Cooper, and it makes 163 horsepower and is obviously front-wheel drive. In my opinion, they are a great deal. I mean, a Mini Cooper S for less than 5K is a very good deal. I actually like the looks of Mini Coopers. Everybody else is like, oh, they're girl cars. Call me freaking Lizzo then, buddy, because I like them. Okay, I like them a lot. And the only thing is, like I said, they do have some reliability issues. So if you're gonna buy one, you kind of gotta be assured that you know what you're doing. You gotta make sure you know how to do routine maintenance on your cars, because it might bite you in the butt cheeks, if you know what I'm saying. For less than $4,000, we are going to be talking about the Volkswagen GTI Mark IV. Mark is my name, by the way. Subscribe to the channel if you like that name. Who doesn't like that name? It's super cool. The Mark IV GTI, I commonly tell people, is one of the best bargain front-wheel drive cars in the market, and I still to this day stand by that. They are amazingly cheap for what they are. They come with a 1.8-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 170 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. For less than $3,000, we are going to be talking about my car. That's right, buddy. It's the Acura Integra. I obviously have a lot of bias because I bought my Acura Integra for $3,000, and I love that thing. But even if I didn't buy that, I still would recommend this car to almost everybody. I used to do it. I used to recommend this car to a lot of people before I had this car. So I still, yes, I have a little bit of bias, but it still really is just that good of a car. They come with a 1.8-liter inline-4, making 140 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Obviously very slow in a straight line. My Integra is the same way. I drive that thing and it feels like I'm driving a dump truck. It is very slow in a straight line. Around the corners though, it's a twisty boy, and it comes with a B series, so if you wanted to turbo it and make even more power, you obviously could very easily do that. They look really good in my opinion. Tons of aftermarket support, incredibly reliable. Not that much space, not as much as a lot of the other cars on this list, because it technically is a hatchback, but it doesn't have like the typical hatchback at back end of it, if you know what I'm saying. So it doesn't have a lot of space. It is still reliable though, still really cool in my opinion, still very fun to drive. For less than $2,000, we're getting into the cars now that I don't recommend personally buying for these prices, but you can find them for these prices if you really looked hard. And for less than $2,000, it is the Volkswagen Jetta Mark III. The Mark III Jetta is a car I do not talk about enough on this channel. I don't even talk about Jettas in general enough on this channel. They're really good cars. And they come with a 2-liter inline-4, making only 115 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. It doesn't really scratch the itch for a lot of different things out there. It doesn't handle that well. It's not that high in horsepower. I think it looks pretty cool, but a lot of other people don't. It is pretty reliable. I mean, it's pretty decently reliable, so that's a good plus. But for less than $2K, I would recommend, if you do want a Mark III Jetta, I understand why you want it, but I would recommend just saving a little bit more, because almost any car for less than $2K is going to be a little bit of a hoopty, gonna need some work. Definitely not something that you want to get started into if you're like looking for a car that you need to drive. But for less than $1,000, if you absolutely have to buy a car for less than $1K and you have no way of saving up your money, anything else other than that, I would recommend the Saab 900. It's a little, I love the Saab 900. A lot of people like the Saab 900, I feel like. But if you're buying any car for less than 1K, you gotta keep in mind that it's gonna be a bit of a butthole. It comes with a 2-liter inline-4, making only 99 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive, obviously. 99 horsepower is incredible. I mean, you're going to be beating Bugattis, Hellcats, everything that you could possibly think of with this car, so don't worry about that aspect. But another thing that the Saab 900 does is very well is it is a very reliable car, so you don't have to really worry too much about that aspect of it. But if you're buying one for 1K, all that reliability is very questionable, because there's probably been a lot of things done to it. It probably has a ridiculous amount of miles. It's probably been thrown together by some 16-year-old in his dad's backyard for the last 3 years. So definitely be careful if you're going to look at one of these. It's obviously always very sketchy to buy any car, but even for less than 1K, that sketch meter goes up by like 5,000. So just be careful, but you can find a Saab 900 for less than 1K. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Now, if you're not a big fan of this channel and you don't care about me at all, then you can click off now. The video's done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. But if you are, let me talk to you a little bit about my plans here. So last week I didn't upload on Friday or Monday, and the reason why I didn't do that is because I was working on the roof with my dad. Long story. If you want to know the full story on that, watch yesterday's video, and I explained it at the end of that video. So I didn't upload those 2 days. On top of that, I didn't have enough time over the weekend to do the 70,000 subscriber special where I do the top 70 cars for less than 10K. I haven't had enough time to do that. So I'm going to be hopefully working on that either this weekend or maybe even tomorrow, because it's looking like I'm going to have enough time, because I'm trying to line up 2 videos, one for today and one for tomorrow. And if I do that and I have enough time to do that tomorrow, then I can start the 70 cars video tonight. It's a long story, but maybe Friday, definitely next week. So for anybody wondering about that, that's what that's going to be. Also, for the Integra build, I haven't had enough time to do anything else on that yet either. So I am going to hopefully be putting on something this weekend, and that will also be live next week, but do not be expecting one this week. A lot of stuff I know that needs to be said. Like I said, though, a lot of stuff has been going on. We had a family emergency, which made it so that my dad couldn't help me and my brother on the roof anymore, so me and my brother did the roof. We have never done that before. It took a lot longer than I expected. But then we got puppies. The puppies are really cool. I love the puppies. I like spending time with them, but not really like taking up too much of my time, to be honest, but they were just really cool. I just wanted to tell you that I have that, and there's just so much stuff going on right now. So please forgive me for any like random stuff that happened. We're back to normal, you know, no need to worry anymore. We are back to the normal Mark Roden upload schedule. We will be doing it a-okay, but I just wanted to put it out there for anybody wondering what was going on. That was what was going on. So the top 70 video that I promised you guys is coming. It's either coming this Friday or next week, and the Integra build is coming hopefully next week. Just wanted to put that out there very, very quickly. But also tell my dogs in the comments that they look cute. They would really appreciate it. They can read already. They're only 8 weeks old and they can read. I don't know how they do it. They're crazy. Dogs these days, man. Dogs these days. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.